La Alemana.
Hi.
Hi, Mama. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yes, perfectly.
You're outside.
I am. I'm like, you know what? It's nice and sunny. It's not raining right now. Let me sit out. It's hot, but I'm sitting outside.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It works with the whole tropical vibe.
Thank you.
So happy to have you join us
Thank
today.
you.
I think I've been dreaming about this moment for over a decade or so. When I first met you, Tanya, years and years ago. I don't know if you remember. I think the first time we kind of talked was in Mexico. Do you remember that?
I'm gonna be honest.
Probably
My
not.
memory is like,
That's okay. It was really quick. We were both at the same event,
mhm.
and you were actually heading out to the beach, and you had this beautiful wrap over your bikini, and you had your sunglasses on, and you waved
Oh,
at me, and I'm like, "Hi!" And I got so nervous. And you
oh,
went out to the beach, and you were like, "Hey, let's talk." I'm like, "Yeah, let's talk," because at the time we were talking about bringing you to Montreal.
okay.
But that's such a long time ago, and here we are.
Yeah, finally though.
So, yes, exactly. So happy that you're going to be joining us for our seventh edition of the
I'm
Montreal
excited.
Bachata Festival. So, I have so many questions for you today.
Okay.
I hope that,
Uh-oh.
yeah, no, they're not. They're all good. Trust me, trust me,
Okay.
trust me. Okay. So, first of all, because, I've been looking at you for years and years, but then just recently, went back on your profile and looked at all your accomplishments, which,
Mm,
by the way, huge congratulations.
thank you.
You
Appreciate
deserve
it.
that. I was thinking about a young dancer, a new dancer, someone that's just starting to like have those stars in their eyes.
Hmm.
And they're like, oh my God, I want to be in the bachata world, the salsa world. And we're in a very different place now than we were like
Right.
when we all started, right? What kind of advice would you give new dancers? How should they approach this now?
I mean, I guess my first question would be, so this dancer is trying to become more of like an artist in the
Yes,
future to do this for a living.
yes,
Um, I think my best advice would be one, invest in yourself, meaning invest in those classes, get the education. Because eventually, if you're trying to become that artist, you'll have to teach. And your teaching has to have that educational background because you're going to be teaching a lot of people and you want to give them the best experience and the best education that you can. So, taking as many classes as you can, not just to become a better dancer, but also to learn how to teach. At the same time, if that is the goal, right? If you're trying to make it as an artist, as an instructor, um, not only are you taking classes to improve your own dancing, but you also want to be taking the classes from a perspective of, okay, I'm going to have to teach this in the future. How does this instructor teach? And what can I get from how they teach? And you don't have to do it exactly, but different styles and details that they incorporate in their class that you can use for yourself to then now become an even better instructor in the future. So definitely classes. I don't recommend, taking classes for 2 months and then being like, I'm an instructor, because that's not how it works. But
yes, please, yes.
we see a lot of people like that, but to each their own. But if you really want to be genuine and it takes time. It takes time. It takes putting in the work, putting in the time.
I love that. Yes, I totally agree. I think that teaching gets overlooked, right? In the sense
Mm,
that um, a dancer that is studying, you're correct, is not just studying how to be the best dancer for
mm,
themselves, like their own level of dance,
yeah,
but also how will they be the future influencer, the future mentor to other people,
exactly.
and have the right training and education. Like one of the things that I remember when I first started in this Latin world was there was a lot of comparisons to the ballroom world.
Right.
And in the ballroom world, you're an amateur for a super long time, like years
Yeah.
and years and years go by, and you're still considered an amateur and you study hard, like you train hard. And I always looked at that and thought, that's such a big difference from what I'm seeing in the salsa bachata world.
Right.
It's not, it doesn't match in a way. And I know it's a different style of dance, and I get that. But what I truly respect is the fact that they value so much what they do to the point where they realize and understand and recognize that this is very valuable, and you have to treat it with respect, and you have to really know your stuff before you call
Mhm.
yourself a teacher. And that's, I think, the little toxin that we have in our industry where people are too quick to run to I'm a teacher status. And I wonder why. Like, why do you want to be a teacher so quickly? Like, what is it that makes you feel that that's necessary? Like,
Mhm.
go through the process, be the dancer, join teams, do competitions, travel, and like you said, pay your dues
Yeah,
before you
takes
get
time.
there. You know what I mean? So, okay, so that would be like, so let's say the person that wants to be a future professional takes the time to really study dance and learn how to teach. Yes,
Mhm.
learn how to teach. What do you suggest when it comes to them becoming the best performer they can be? Would it be to do competitions? What do you think?
I don't necessarily feel that you need to compete in order to be a good performer. I think it's important to also keep in mind that you could be an amazing instructor as far as your communication skills and how you
Mm.
um, convey information to people doesn't translate into now automatically becoming a great performer or the best technical dancer, right? I think there's different aspects as well. Um, so if this same person who also wants to be a great instructor also wants to be a great performer, it is again training, finding the mentor, finding those instructors that can help coach and train you technically
Mm.
um, to be the performer that you want, right? Because again, we're talking about bachata and salsa. As much as we put it in the studio and as much as technique is now incorporated in it, it wasn't, 25 years ago the way that
Right.
it is now. Um, it's still a street dance and it's still stylistic and there's a lot of flavor. So it really depends on what type of performer you also want to be because you can be a very technical, very precision based type performer or and you can also have that flavor. So it really one, you got to decide what type of performer you'd like to be, your personality, things like that, but finding the right coach and the mentor to help you train properly, again, putting in the work
Yeah.
and then getting the experience to perform. And you might perform at only socials in the beginning to get the feel for the stage and the feel for the audience because you will encounter different types of audiences. You'll have, if you're performing in your hometown, of course people are going to support you and they're going to yell and scream and clap and everything. But then also you have to experience the type of audience that's very quiet and that's not going to cheer
Yeah.
and maybe has a face, not because they don't like it, but in different cultures, when you travel. I
Yes.
remember seeing some audience, and I'm telling George, I'm like, I don't know if they like this. But then
Yes.
they clap at the end, and we're like, oh, okay, that's cool. But being able to keep your cool during that time without having to
Mm.
be like, why aren't they cheering? Continuing to do your performance the way that it should be, the way that you'd like it to be, is also very important. So you got to get a lot of experience under your belt as well. And I don't think that needs to be with competition. Competition helps,
It
but I
can
think
be
if
or
there's
not.
another,
Yeah.
yeah, I think there's also a different skill set. Oops, sorry, for competitions. I'm I'm not a competitor. I'm not for the competition for myself. I don't like
Got
doing
it.
that. I can be competitive in other things, but I don't want
But
to
not
compete in
there.
dance. It's a lot of stress that I see other people go through, and I'm like, I'm good.
I get it. And you said something interesting because I do remember also in the beginning stages when I used to perform, I would look to the audience to kind of look for validation. Like,
Right,
did I do well? Did I not do well? Like, do they like me? Do they not like me? And that also feeds into a little bit of, your confidence,
right.
right? Like if you're constantly hoping that other people tell you if you're good or not, you're always going to feel this kind of roller coaster of emotions like, oh,
Hmm.
that show was good, that show wasn't good. And I remember going through that and feeling sometimes so bad about, my performance that I would beat myself up for days and be like, that
Mm,
was not good. Like, you screwed this up, Sonia. You didn't remember that, blah, 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 blah. And it was really like rough, and then what that tends to do is it makes you not want to do it
right.
because you're like, oh, this feels terrible.
Yeah.
And so I think for young dancers also, it's important to have some type of self metric, like that you did it better than the last time you did it, and that's good
Yeah.
enough for now, right?
Absolutely. No, we
Until the
all
next.
go through it. Professionals go through it all the time. I mean, I just did two performances of my new solo, and the audience was like, "Oh my God, this is amazing! I love it!" Like they love it. For me,
Mm,
I was like, "Okay, it's good. I could have done better had I
Mm,
put more work into it. I wasn't beating myself up like, oh my God, this sucks, this is terrible. But I was honest with myself. And I think that is
yeah,
very important too for all of us to keep in mind and just to remember, have a healthy dose of
yeah.
I don't want to say criticism, but I don't even know the word, but just
Self-awareness.
yes, a
Yeah.
healthy dose of that. And just be honest with yourself because you're as a performer, you know how much work you have put into it. And if you could have done more, okay, well then you better next time. That's it. But yeah, I agree
Mm.
with looking for the audience for validation. It's not a good metric
It's
necessarily.
tough. Yeah, yeah. And then, I kind of remember some of the people that I would look up to and get advice from, they almost, I don't want to say ignored the audience, but they were not concerned with the audience. So the
Right.
first time I heard that, I was like, "Oh, that's rude." Like that
Yeah,
they're
it
there for
sounds right in the
you.
beginning.
Right. They're there for you. So why wouldn't you care about the audience? But then I understood what they meant, which was your audience, you can't choose your audience.
Right.
You can't choose your audience. You don't know who's watching and what mood they're in or what they're
Mhm.
thinking of, what they like, what they don't like. So how can you possibly use them as a way to know how you're doing? So
Exactly.
it's important to like you said, have your own awareness and figure out like, as an artist, if I want to improve myself, well, I should be able to self-critique or get my mentor as well to look at it and say, hey, this could be that way. And I think that's part of the sharing cycle that we want. We want our senior, more, advanced
Yeah.
choreographers and trainers to be able to have the communication with the younger ones. And I think that's what sometimes competitions are good for because you do get that direct kind of
Yeah.
critique from a judge, and sometimes just going to the festivals and taking privates with the pros as well.
Right.
So that's awesome. Now, here's another question. You have been in the business how long now, Tanya?
In the Latin dance business since 2005, so 20 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what's your advice to sustain a long-term career in dance?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I think it kind of was like on autopilot for us for a really long time. It was just kind of like, all right, we just always had work. But I think what's kept us going is continuing to grow as dancers, trying out different things. I mean, the choreographies that we had to push out for a very, very long time because of the franchise themes that we had created back in like 2010. It definitely helped us with the creation process because the more you practice that muscle or you train that muscle, the
Yeah.
better it's going to get. So this sustainability, again, it's not necessarily, I feel like there's some control that you have, obviously, by how you train, how you present yourself, what your classes are like, how you promote yourself is huge.
Mm.
But you also cannot control how everybody else is going to receive you after some time because we've been in this since, I mean, for bachata for George and myself since 2008, so
Hmm.
17 years, I think, right now, 17 years. There's been a couple of like sets of new artists always coming in, so you have to also be prepared for the new blood to come in and be okay with that. And I'm not saying be okay like I give permission. It's accept it that there's new people. And then if you want to stay relevant, I guess let's say, you have to continue working. You cannot, for lack of a better term, take your foot off the gas if
Oh,
you
yeah.
want to stay within the community, stay relevant and at the top of your game. You have to always continue training.
Hmm. You're right. I think the answer to all my questions has been training. Keep training people. That's what
Yeah,
we're trying
that's
to tell you. Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And I think also like if we go to like a personal perspective, it's okay also to take breaks. Like
Yeah.
when I, had my son, I had to take a break. When I had like the festivals taking a lot of my time and my energy, I had to take a
Mhm.
break. So don't beat yourself up out there, dancers, when you need to take those moments back and take care of yourself or
Yeah,
other parts of your life, because the beauty of dance is it's always there for you. Like you can always come home,
exactly. Yeah.
you can always come home and train again and do it again and maintain those muscles Speaking
Yeah.
from experience, my knees are talking to me a lot lately.
What? My knees, my shoulders, everything's cracking all the time.
So
It's just constant.
yeah, glucosamine, all that good stuff, to keep you in shape. But otherwise, I think the benefits that dancing brings to you as a human are just outstanding. Like I look at dancers that are maybe older than I am, and I'm like, they're so hot. They look so good. And
Yeah.
I get this comment from students as well, and I say, I think dance does that to you. It makes you it makes you more beautiful.
Yeah, it just doesn't allow. I was thinking about it because, in all honesty, I haven't traveled for like the past 2 months, like seriously traveled. I've done like little events, like one in New York and one in Texas, but not what I was doing, going back and forth to Europe.
Yeah.
But even just not dancing for, first of all, I've never had gray hairs. And I'm like, oh my God, where are these coming from? I'm 39. And before that, I never had any gray hairs. And I'm like, oh no, I feel like I'm aging because I'm not dancing. And it's true. I feel dance, a lot of benefits from it, brain function wise. I mean, they've
Yeah.
been doing studies on it with Alzheimer's patients and stuff like that, that dance
Yes.
does help with brain function. But I think also just physically and like even in the face, like you see so many of these professionals, and when they tell you their age, you're like, I don't believe it.
It
But
doesn't
it's
match.
dancing that
Yeah.
keeps you young, right? And even though we party at some of these festivals and all that other stuff, but it somehow we look younger than
Yeah.
maybe the people that we went to school with that don't
True,
dance.
true. The fountain of youth is
Yeah,
dance. How come
exactly.
people haven't realized it yet? Yeah, I agree with you. I think it aligns you in a way that not a lot of things can, because it's not just a physical thing, like the physical workout side. It's
Right.
also the mental and emotional and the spiritual.
Hmm.
I think when you're aligned with yourself and there's movement and that you're connected to music, there's like magic that happens in the
Yeah,
body,
it's that
you know?
energy. Yeah.
Yes, the fluidity. Oh my God. I love it. Okay. Um, that was great advice. And I want to now ask you, so on your profile on Instagram, you have
Hmm.
dancer, instructor, choreographer,
Hmm.
but you also have philanthropist.
Hmm.
When did you add the title philanthropist and why?
I've had the title for a while. For myself, I've enjoyed working with different organizations, and I really was the main person for our company and our events to either find organizations or bring in organizations that we can work with that we can raise funds for. We've done Cell of Freedom. And we've done them for a few years where they work with sex trafficking victims.
Oof.
They're they have two locations, one in Chicago and one in Florida, Sarasota. And we did a lot with them. Heartbeat Vietnam, which is a organization out of Vietnam. And I forgot how I found them, but it was very close to me because I was born with a heart defect. So
Oh
that's what they
gosh.
work with. And the defect that I had, I was lucky that I didn't pass away from it. But a lot of times in those types of countries, if you don't get the right medical help, a lot of these kids do die before their 18th birthday.
Oh God.
So we worked with them, raising funds for the relief in Mexico when there was a big earthquake. Went over there and did some work there. So I think it's just a matter of wanting to help people. I have the title there, but it's like, all right, however I can help, because I wanted to create my own foundation, but I didn't have just one thing that I wanted to do. So
Mm,
I'm like, let me just help whoever I can. And that's really what that's about.
that's beautiful. Has that been something inside of you since you can remember?
I think I've always wanted to just help people, just in general, even when I was a kid. Like I wasn't, um, I don't know.
It's
I
in you.
always, yeah, I think just even when I was little, just wanting to be everybody's friend and, wanting everybody to be happy and making sure. And, I have people that come to me for advice or help. And I'm like, yeah, of course, I'll help you. So it's just wanting to help however I can. And now with the platform that I have, obviously I had a bigger reach. So I use
Yes.
that. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, you're taking your success and the attention that you get and you're using it for good, which is amazing. That's
Try
awesome.
to, yeah.
I love that. Okay, and so lately, I don't know how old it is. Maybe you could tell us more about what inspired Venus Goddess Network and how you got started and what is it exactly?
Okay. So for Venus, it started out as a camp that we did at our festivals. We hosted that at our festivals. I think the first one we did was in Tampa, 2017 or something like that. So that started out with a choreography camp where throughout the weekend, ladies were able to learn for one song or a full choreography, but it was five instructors that they were taking
Nice.
classes with. And all the instructors had their part that they choreographed for the song, and then we put it all together, and then we performed it, and it was really nice. And it was a nice opportunity for those women that maybe weren't performers at all to, step on the stage and do something fun and hang out with their favorite artists. So that's how it started. And then I wanted to do pretty much during COVID, right? I did a lot of growth during that time. I feel like a lot of people
Mm,
did.
mm,
And I noticed, I'm like, you know what? I want to work more with women. I'm enjoying these festivals, yes, and I love to teach. But I found that when I did have the opportunity to do styling classes at some of these festivals, um, I enjoyed that the most. It was
mm-mm.
just a different energy that was in those classes. So I was like, you know what? This is what I want to do. And I had a conversation with Rudy and said, why don't you just take the brand that we already created, Venus, and
Yes.
just utilize that and grow it. And which is what I did, which is why I created the Venus Goddess Network, which is I'm not a guru. I'm not a therapist. I lived my own experiences and I know what I've done to get to
Yes.
be the woman that I am today. And I want to help other women that are struggling, trying to find themselves, trying to have a voice, trying to learn how to set boundaries, not be a people pleaser all the time because I know all this stuff. I've experienced it, help them get to a space where they now feel confident and empowered to be able to, put their foot down or whatever it is that they're trying to accomplish. And using movement, being in your body, learning how to be in your body, because that's the other
Mm,
thing. I've had students, I had one particular student, she's mid to late 60s, and you know she told me some personal things, but she's never felt sexy her whole entire life. And
wow.
for me, I'm like, oh my god, that's so sad. That's so sad to hear. And
Yeah.
for some, I'm like, okay, we gotta do something. And what's the best way is actually practicing this movement, doing it with music, and giving yourself permission to do so. So using movement, bachata, because that's what I do, but also
Right.
there's different types of classes that I have in there. Reading, that's incorporated in Venus. So there's a lot of books that I personally read that have helped me that now I,
Love it.
suggest to all those ladies, workbooks that I've created so they can actually track all their progress, because sometimes you have to write it down to really see what's going on.
Yeah.
Fitness. I did a whole fitness thing during COVID, and I've always
Okay.
loved working out. So it is, it's a space for women to hopefully learn to be more in their body, to discover the woman that they are or that they used to be, that they lost maybe through work, family, motherhood. That happens a lot. And it also has a community aspect of it, where you can now talk to other women that may or may not be going through the same exact thing or something similar, and just maybe find a mentor or just a sister to be able to talk to you about some of the stuff so you don't feel so alone. So that's really what Venus is.
I love that. That sounds
Thank you.
also beautiful.
Thank you.
Can I join? Can I join?
Of course. Whatever you want.
I find that since the pandemic, you're right, that was a very interesting time for all of us.
Mm,
Um, whatever was maybe let's call it toxic or unhealthy really came to the surface.
mhm,
I remember that, as a young dancer and entrepreneur, I felt alienated by other women. I didn't feel
mm,
supported by other women. And that could have just been me, even unintentionally pushing them away because I was feeling insecure. Because
mhm,
who knows? There's so much you can go through. And I would notice like sometimes women, even in like dance studio atmosphere, would be silently jealous of each other or
Mm,
not truly supportive of each other. And that kind of made me feel even further and further away from wanting to bond with other women because I thought, oh my God, they're just going to turn on me, you know?
yeah.
And so I started to alienate myself a lot. And I felt that during the pandemic, I started to feel the lack of the the sisterly connection, that
Hmm.
type of love, which is very different than love from your husband, boyfriend, or
Yeah.
brother. You know, it's not the same. And I find that now with this kind of like renewal, there's a lot more. I think women realizing that we do need to stand together, that we do need to come together to help each other for whatever it is, whether it's just listening or it's healing or it's crying or it's what bitching, whatever it needs to
Yeah.
be. You know, even if we're not related, even if we've never met each other before, it can be a safe space for us to express and feel nurtured somehow. So
Hmm.
I'm so grateful that you're doing this. How do people connect to Venus Goddess Network? What do they do?
Oh, just the website. If you go to venusgoddessnetwork.com, I have everything laid out, and it's a membership program as well. So there's different memberships that are available to people that have the whole thing explaining it, different options to join, or if you just want to do a private and just talk, we can do that too.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I
so
love
just
that.
visit venusgoddessnetwork.com. That's the
That's
easiest way.
awesome. Everybody check it out. I have one more
Okay.
big important question for you.
Oh my gosh.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Ooh, 5 years. I'll be 45.
That's
Yay.
beautiful.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to my 40s. 30s have been awesome, but 40s I'm really excited about. 5 years. Well, I have for those, I know there's people that have been following George and myself for a really long time. We never made an announcement about it. I mean, although we did an interview where we mentioned it. But we're dance partners, but we're no longer romantic partners, and we haven't been for quite some time. So hopefully within the next 5 years. I did get engaged recently. Very
Oh
excited.
my God.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you.
Wow.
So
Show me, show
hopefully
me,
I'll
show
be
me.
married. Oh,
Show me, show me, show me. Oh, gorgeous. Gorgeous.
yeah.
Oh
He
my
did good.
God.
It's
Congratulations.
thank you. And we've been childhood friends like for since we were 12. We've known each other since we were 12. Never thought
Wow.
it would happen, but life is very surprising at times. So
It is.
hopefully married within the next 5 years. That is the plan. Um he does have three amazing kids. So I'm a
Wonderful.
stepmom now. So
Beautiful.
in the next 5 years, professionally, I do see myself having a dance studio here in Florida.
Wow.
Um, Along with the gym, I'm actually getting my certification in fitness now. So I'm doing different things, right? So
That's beautiful.
having roots, having the roots and,
Yes.
and really building a family, building a business where I am, because pretty much my whole entire life I have moved
Yeah.
every 2 years. Like I did the math. I'm like, yeah, it's about every 2 years I was moving. So I never really had any roots. And now I'm like, all
Mm.
right, this is it. This is where I am. So within the next 5 years, hopefully having that studio, having that gym attached to it,
Wow.
or the fitness aspect to it. And then, living my life as a family woman.
I love that. Oh my God. And you say that, and then I see the trees behind you that have roots. And it's just
Yeah,
a perfect
I
setting
want
for
to be
what
like them.
you want to be like the trees. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is a beautiful thing. I'm also imagining your wedding dress.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's going to be a red one.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. Oh,
Yes.
geez. Okay, that's
Red.
gonna have to be like who got married recently? Jeff Bezos, and there was media everywhere. So
Okay.
we're gonna
Yeah,
do
no,
the
no, no.
same.
No, no,
We're
no.
gonna
It's
show
going
up
to
with
be
helicopters. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
little
I'm
drones
joking.
everywhere.
Little drones, like she's getting married. Let's go see the dress. That's so cool. Oh, well,
Yeah.
that all sounds beautiful. Congratulations. That
Thank
sounds
you.
really beautiful. Well,
Thank you.
listen, Montreal and everybody else that's thinking about coming, I hope this helps you realize who you're going to meet, who you're going to learn from. Tanya La Alemana, famous beyond, but beyond imagination. I think you've done wonderful things with your success.
Thank you.
I'm very, very honored to have you at our event this year.
I'm really
It's
excited. Thank you.
Yes, it's going to be November 13 to 16, Chateau Champlain. What's also interesting for those who don't know is my little flyer. It's simple, but it does the job. At the same time, we have the Montreal Heals Festival, which is it kind of falls in line with your Venus Goddess concept. It's women coming together to help each other, to empower each other, to lift each other up. And it's at the same hotel at the same time, just different rooms for the workshops. So it's an interesting combination, and I just look forward to actually hugging you when you get here.
Oh, I can't wait. I love hugs.
Thank you so much for
Thank
your
you.
time today.
Appreciate it.
And I will see you in a couple of months. Blessings. Enjoy
Oh,
your trees
thank you. I will. I'll
and
be
your
enjoying the
beautiful
sun.
weather.
All right. I'll see you
All
soon.
right. Ciao, belleza.
Bye. Bye.